Svitlana Romanko is the founder and director of the Ukrainian campaign group Razom We Stand. This group lobbies against the purchase of Russian oil and gas as a way to end the Ukraine war. You're joining us from Lviv in Western Ukraine. Welcome to the program. So after 4 years of war, Europe is still buying Russian energy. And this is what Donald Trump has described disparagingly as, quote, funding the war against themselves. How much Russian energy does Europe still buy? How dependent are they still on Russian energy?
Thanks so much, Cyril, for having me today. And I just wanted to start from really shocking figures and numbers. As you've told, yes, EU still imports Russian fossil fuels, namely gas and LNG gas, and even more. They have a timeline of getting rid of Russian gas, but it doesn't look promising on our Ukrainian side, especially at these very, very horrible days that brings a lot of emotion from the 4 years ago, from the beginning of the full-scale invasion. And what I can definitely say Europe has paid in the past years, they have paid over 120 millions for the Russian gas. And in total, they paid 200 billions for Russian fossil fuels since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. And this is such a shameful number, such a bizarre fact. We have all the tools in Europe.
Svitlana, pause for a second. Pause for a second. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. I understand what you're saying, that Europe has paid billions to the tune of, at the moment, it's about €1 billion euros a month that they are sending, a little more than that they are paying to Russia for Russian energy. I understand that. However, if we look at the direction of travel, it is way down from what it was, right? So Russian gas used to make up 45% of the European Union's energy mix, and now that's gone down from 45% in 2021 to 19% in 2024. So it has more than halved. And as for oil, it was at 27% and now 3% almost in existence. So there has been a big effort that's been made, no?
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to acknowledge that really this effort has been made. It's really strong. And as we've seen, Russian fossil fuel profiting skyrocketing, but downsize. And if to speak about general amounts, it's 1 trillion of euros that Russia was able to make since the start of the full-scale invasion. And now these profits are nearly halved, and especially after strong US sanctions and seizing on the oil shadow fleets, we've seen Russian fossil fuel profits almost halving in January alone. And the only point I wanted to make around about Europe is that the transition from Russian oil and gas to more sustainable energy sources is quite gradual. And I'm saying that in Repower EU plan, which is brilliant, and we highly welcome this plan, but it has a timeline to end Russian LNG contracts like in 1 year, and to end pipeline gas supply still flowing to Hungary and Slovakia in 1.5 years. And this means additional delay for Ukraine. And unfortunately, today we were hoping for the 20th sanction package released by the European Union and for a full maritime ban that would eliminate loopholes in the sanctions enforcement, especially towards the shadow fleet, including also gas shadow fleet, because it's not only dark shadow oil fleet.
I will address the shadow fleet in just a second, but first of all, do we agree that by the end of next year, because you referred to Europe's 2027 plan, and I understand you lament that Europe is not moving, in your view, fast enough on this, but still, by the end of 2027, Europe's plan is that they won't be sending a penny to Russia for its oil and gas. We agree on that, yes?
Just on the gas, just on LNG gas.
Well, the oil is down. The oil is already way down. So it's really the gas remains the main issue, as I understand it.
Yes, truly. And Europe has been a premium market for Russian gas for many, many, many decades.
Okay, so tell me what you were going to tell me about the shadow fleet. And this, as context for our viewers, is this fleet of hundreds of ships that are sailing around the world at any given point in time, and that are discreetly and secretly carrying sanctioned Russian oil across the world. So they're not allowed to do it, but they're still doing it. What was the point you were going to make?
Oh, yes. There is more than 1,600 of Russian oil shadow fleet vessels. And there are 15 Arctic LNG tankers of special ice class, icebreaking class that are not yet being banned, passing through the European waters. What's being currently under sanctions is about 640 vessels, which we know is just nearly not even a half. And but a full and uncompromised maritime services ban on Russian oil would really dramatically change this situation for Russian oil shadow fleets. And also, it will replace the ineffective oil price cap and will close remaining loopholes. Also, Europe and J7 as the main allies all together, they all should carve out of shipping exceptions that would allow EU-linked tankers, insurers or registries to continue servicing Russian oil exports, including via the shadow fleet. The full maritime ban means the ban of all maritime-related services for the Russian shadow fleet, which means it will physically stop. It will be deprived of any license, registration, insurance for continuing the services, which we see as a more effective measure in comparison with like physically seizing those Russian tankers, which is quite brave, but it's not been yet enforced by all G7 members. And we also welcome the sanction packages that all already came into public space today. They were from Australia and the UK.
All right. Svitlana Romanko, thank you very much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you.